You are listening to a Reverie original podcast. Please download the Reverie app to get the best in queer film, TV series, music, and podcasts. Stream out loud. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Podcast of Color, where 4 trash bags come together to make some sense of this world. On today's episode, we have 3 trash bags, and my name is John, and happy API History Month.
What is that?
Asian Pacific Islander.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking like AP testing for some reason.
Yes, come through ignorance. We live.
I didn't say I was proud. I just... Also, Renee's not here because Renee has finals, so I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but whatever.
I think most colleges
do, right?
Are going through Dead Week right now. I think they call it Dead Week.
Oh my God, I'm triggered. I remember Dead Week.
Yeah.
So good luck to Renee and send Renee
everyone
emails.
Else who's taking finals too. Good luck.
Yeah. Well, Renee's the one missing though, but good luck to y'all too.
Our listeners, yeah.
Yeah. And send Renee dick pics and ass pics and all that stuff, and then he won't respond to them and say he was busy.
Stop.
I'm kidding.
Oh my God.
So, do we have a question of color this week?
Wait, who are
We
you?
didn't introduce ourselves.
Girl, if y'all don't know who we is at this point, I'm Baze. I don't have anything else. I'm just Baze. Who are y'all?
I'm Rakeem, and I am the details in Cardi B and Rihanna's Met Gala dresses.
Ah, so good. Oh wait, I have one more. Also, Happy Nurses Week. So if you know any nurses in your life, tell them Happy Nurses Week.
Happy Nurses
Happy
Week,
Nurses
John.
Week,
Oh,
John.
thank you. Oh, if you never asked a nurse any questions for advice when they're off the clock, you owe them money.
Do you really?
I mean, technically, that's something that you should be that's what an advice nurse is for. That you call your local. They get money for that. But if you're asking, say, for example, me or a friend that's a nurse, reconsider.
So every time Renee talks to you about Giardia,
Support creatives is what John
support
said.
creatives.
No, I honestly personally don't mind. I feel kind of honored that my friends think I have the right answer.
But also, you give a lot of unsolicited advice. So does
That
that
is
count?
true. You be just telling us shit.
John will literally just walk up to you and be like, did you have enough fiber today? Are you shitting enough?
Let me see your
goes
poop.
in?
John be like, okay, make sure to get tested. There's an outbreak.
Right.
I am doing my public service duties.
John's like, girl, there's chlamydia on the lettuce. Be careful.
Chlamydia in the lettuce. Wow. Okay.
Oh my
What
God.
has your lettuce been up to?
Ooh. Being tossed. So, it really hasn't.
That was so good.
It hasn't. But if you want to, send an email to podcastofcolor@gmail.com.
Not trying to fuck the listener is unethical.
Ew.
I would never do that. So what's the question of color?
The question of color this week. Let me put my deep trade voice on.
Oh God.
What was
mine came on too?
Masculinity.
masculinity? Let me serve a little bit of that masculinity.
Oh wait, what is your trade name?
Trade name?
Travante.
Trevon.
No. DeMarcus.
Okay, so let's answer this question in our trade voice.
Okay, so Renee wrote this, so I'm gonna do it I'm gonna say it how Renee wrote it. What was the stupidest thing you've done while drunk?
Estupidest.
Stupidest.
Hey yo, my name is Thaddeus.
Oh, not Thaddeus.
Oh wait, maybe what's another black name? You said Travante.
Well, no, I went with
DeMarcus.
DeMarcus, so you can have Travante if you want it.
Nah, bro. I want your sloppy seconds, bro. We ain't do
that shit gay.
over
We
here.
ain't with that gay shit. Miss me with
that's
that
not gay shit, man.
Give me with that gay shit, bruh.
My name's gonna be Dante.
Okay, cool.
And
DeMarcus and Dante.
LaDante.
LaDante. Oh
say
yeah,
Zendante?
just take it all the way.
Zendante.
That's hard, bro. That's hard.
Hey, that's hard, bro. Man, hard, yo.
Dead ass.
Yeah. So this one time I was at the Pride Parade, not because I wanted to be there, but like,
Oh yeah.
I had to work my shift at Starbucks. My man, like my guy, like so. Like I was there, my nigga in the car, and like my friend came out giving me some Moscato, but like we hoard though. We had like the hoard Moscato though.
Yeah.
And it had like tequila in it. And
dead ass.
I can't do this. I feel gross.
No, you gotta stay in character. Let's do it. Let's get it.
I gotta stay in character. Okay.
Yeah, we gotta stay in character.
My bad, man. I was weak, man.
Right in the trade.
I'm
show.
sorry, man.
What would Beyonce do? Would she stick to it?
Man,
what would Jay-Z do?
Man. You right.
What would Jay-Z do?
You right.
Well,
You right.
Because we trade today.
Okay. So like we was in the core, and
not the core.
Wow, can't even be trade for 5 minutes.
Sorry. I mean, my bad, my nigga. So we was in the core, and I had thrown up all over myself, and like I had looked down, and I was asleep for like 6 hours, and
word
up, bro, and like dead ass, be like there was throw up all over my fucking clothes, man, over my Gucci sweater, my nigga, like it was so
hey,
dang on the Gucci,
on my Gucci, man. Did you get it? On my Gucci, man.
Oh,
yeah,
snap.
Man.
Dang, bro.
Mad slow, man. Y'all mad slow. Catch up, man.
I hear
man. Man. Y'all can't handle me. I'm too far ahead. I'm a genius, man. I'm a free thinker, man.
A free thinker?
I'm a free thinker.
I feel you, man.
Yeah, man.
Let me see, bro. What stories I got? You know what? I'm just a real happy drunk, so I don't really be doing too much when I'm drunk. I just be complimenting people and telling them they look nice. But not niggas, though, because that's gay. That's that gay shit, man.
Yeah, that's because gangsters dance. They don't, gangsters don't dance. They just lean with it, rock with it, my God.
Only women on this side. I mean, females.
Only them females, bruh.
Women and elbows side to side. I physically had to do that. My name's Terrence.
Wow.
And
what kind of gay ass name is that, bruh?
Actually, my brother IRL in real life, his name is Terrence. So the first straight person I thought of was my brother.
We told you, man. We straight in this bitch. They no gay shit, man. We told you.
Yeah, so, we ain't on that gay shit, man.
We ain't with that gay shit, man.
So one time I drank too much and got on Snapchat and Snapchatted my ex, and and then
hey, yo, that's dark.
He read that shit and didn't respond, and that's probably the dumbest I've felt in a long time. So there it is.
Well, dang, those are our drunk Trey stories for that ass.
Word up.
But that women's ass, because we don't fuck with that. We don't fuck with niggas' ass.
Gay shit.
No homo.
Not no mo. I is delivered. I is not gay no mo.
I deliver. I don't like men's no mo. Oh my god. So back here I am, back to my gay old self. Oh my god. So yeah. I think that pretty much concludes our intro, right?
Stop.
Yeah, man.
Okay, well, I guess. Bum.
My guy.
Miss Vanjie. Hey, bruh. So we back with Podcast of Color. We here for the minutes of color. Yeah. So let's get started. Yeah, so anyway, I wanted to start with Janelle Monae since I forgot about her last weekend. I can't believe that I did that. She came out as pansexual and like apparently apparently Webster Dictionary got like a shit ton of hits on what's the word? I just said it and now I forgot it already. Pansexual. I was gonna say polysexual. I kept wanting to say polysexual. Yeah, on that.
Is that a thing?
Word,
sort of.
polysexual is a thing. Yes.
What isn't polysexual like pansexual?
Yeah.
No.
I think it's
Well, the difference is polysexual means that you're like interested sexually in like having multiple sex partners. Yeah. So it's
John
it's not,
said,
yeah.
I felt that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's Renee's thing about like having like a whole like I think ideal for Renee would be like having like multiple partners. I feel like Renee would do really well with polyamory. But anyway, and polyamory is like romantic, like you want to have multiple romances, and then polysexual means you just want to have like an open relationship and want to have sex with multiple people.
Oh, snap. Okay.
Little education for that ass.
Educate the children.
So
But anyway,
so quiz. What does pansexual mean then?
So pansexual means you are attracted to everything, everyone, everything, every gender, everything.
Right. Not
like
just
you have no
binary.
limitations.
Yeah.
Exactly. Bisexual means you're attracted to men and women, but pansexual means you're attracted to like any possible identity.
Yes.
Queen of definitions.
So anyway, she came out as that.
As that?
As that. What did she come out as?
That.
And I mean, and we were all gagged. And it just was really beautiful. Like, I mean, obviously, like, we were not surprised that she was not straight. I mean, you know, it was very clear that she was queer, especially if it wasn't clear to you before the Pink video came out, or the not even the Pink video, the That's the Way I Feel video. Then it was definitely clear afterwards. But it's still there's still like a value. What?
Oh, sorry, what? I was gonna say, I always thought she was queer during like Electric Lady too.
I mean, yeah, the way that she talks was always like coded. Like there was clearly like she wasn't a heterosexual person. I thought she was full on gay for a long time.
Me too, because she dropped some hints. She did drop a hint in the song with her and Prince. She said something like 2 9s walk into the building, blah 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 blah. She looked at me and I looked back. She said, "Can you tell me where the party's at?" She followed me back to the lobby. She was looking at me for some undercover love. And I said, "Ooh." I said, "Okay, girl."
She uses a lot of female pronouns in a lot of her songs. So like it's not surprising. But there is a value in someone who especially is like a black queer woman saying, "I am a black queer woman." So that was just really important that she spoke her truth for everyone to hear. And I'm really proud of her, and I appreciate her existence. And as far as Dirty Computer is concerned, Screwed is the best song on the album.
Oh my god.
We love facts.
Screwed. I don't care.
I don't care.
And
I don't care.
That's the summer thought bop.
I don't care.
Truly. I don't care.
And Zoe Kravitz is on it. I was shocked that Zoe Kravitz was out here singing on it. Yeah.
That was very intentional because it's like a rock and roll song, and she's Lenny Kravitz's daughter. I said on Bops and Flops last week that it's a very like don't hurt yourself moment, and that like she's reclaiming rock and roll for black women. So I would love to see her do a song with not Brittany Griner, Father God. What's the girl's name from Alabama Shakes?
Oh, shoot.
Oh, yes, I know who you're talking about. I don't remember her name, but I know who you're talking about.
Is she
I would
queer
love
too?
for her to do what?
The girl. Oh, wow, I feel bad. Is she queer too? The girl from Alabama Shakes.
Oh, I don't know. I just want them to do a song together.
Wanna get screwed at a festival. Sorry, I love that song so much.
Now that you put the idea of her and Janelle Monae being together as a thing, I want that also. But yes.
I mean, it's festival season. She's so smart by saying, "Let's get screwed at a festival."
Yes.
Because now everyone's getting screwed at festivals.
I feel like people were getting screwed before that at festivals.
But now they're like proud to say it.
Oh, yeah.
Now they're validated.
Yeah, I feel seen. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when I went to Coachella, I got screwed.
Did you really?
Yes. Remember I told you? I forgot what episode, but I got screwed in a tent.
You didn't say that.
Okay.
Yeah, I did. I totally did.
I don't think you did.
Okay.
Wow, how did that work? Like, how did you clean yourself out and all that shit at a festival?
Oh my god.
What's the next topic?
The Renee jumped out.
The NDA jumped out.
The NDA jumped out. So a lot of y'all was upset, and y'all can stay mad, and that's cool. But I'm gonna let y'all have what y'all been asking for. Y'all want to talk about fucking Infinity War? So go ahead and do y'all thing.
Are you gonna do this again where you're just not gonna participate, bitch?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh.
I am petty though, but anyway, I'm not that petty. Yeah, I mean, I kind of already said what I felt about it. Like, I was not super. I thought that it was a solid film. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it kept me entertained for the most part throughout the movie. But I just found it really difficult to connect with any of the characters because there just was too many of them, and I don't think that there's any real solution to that because, you know, this is how the comics, I guess, were. I didn't read them, so I don't know. But it just, for me, it just didn't hit, like, emotionally. And, like, the only character I really, like, emotionally, like, was attached to are the only two really were Gamora and Peter Parker. So
oh, Peter Parker.
Is that all?
Yeah, you can go.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to say a lot either because I did a tweet thread about it yesterday. And I'm just going to read some of my tweets because I said, first off, Star-Lord is a bitch ass and I want to square up. I stand by what I said.
Agreed.
Yeah, I was going to say that too.
Yeah.
5 seconds. It would have taken them 5 seconds to just wait.
Just wait. Like, how I saw it for like the second time I was yelling at the screen, like, Quill, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What are you doing, Quill?
Like,
you could have got it. They could have had it.
Guess what, bruh? Everyone else has people that died.
Yeah.
The trade jumped out. I'm sorry. Everyone else has people that die.
Guess what, girl?
Listen, bitch.
So, and then I said, I know a lot of y'all are mad at the Hulk, but he was suffering from PTAW, which is post-traumatic ass whooping. And I said, Thanos Falcon punched his ass like his name was Sharkeisha. So the Hulk got his ass beat. Like,
wow, that's very insightful of you, Rakeem. I never would have thought about that.
About Sharkeisha?
No, I was wondering. No, I was wondering why the Hulk never came out, and I never thought about the PTSD.
Oh, yeah, because he was fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, I thought it was actually kind of sad. He was just like, no! Like, and
I think it was supposed to be comical, but I never thought about, like, the actual, like, abuse he went through.
Abuse. That's not funny, but it is.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, someone had said
it's post-traumatic stress. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, when you get your ass beat like that, do you, like, you know, let's just say you got into a fight at school and you got your ass beat. Do you want to go to school the next day?
And I think it's because mostly he's like, he hasn't really lost that many fights.
No.
Yeah. And
because someone had said on Twitter, too, that, like, the Hulk is kind of like a child. So it's like he's not, like, fully developed. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, but also a man. I will say this. I was kind of aroused when they were fighting and Thanos punched his ass into the ground and he, like, threw him against the wall. I choked myself. I said,
like, Daddy, stop it.
Are you talking to
both of them?
Oh, I was like, no, keep
Daddy's
going. I was just like, yes. I love it. And then what other ones do I want to read? Oh, I'll read this one. I said, Scarlet, when he fucked me good, I save his ass from the Mind Stone Witch. You tried to save your human magic bullet dick machine, and I'll never fully understand putting that much time and effort into a man, but I like the dedication. You also shredded homegirl to a fucking Falcon. To a fucking... To a fucking pulp. I almost said.
There we go, girl. Yes.
Fucking pup.
Enunciate.
The Ariana Grande jumped out.
No more tears left to cry.
So anyway,
and what about it? That's my favorite gift of her. And what about it?
I just saw that today. I love it. Also,
that and faggots. Let me hear you make some noise.
She's the only one who can say that.
Truly.
She really is. She's the only one that's allowed to say faggot. If she said faggot in a song, I would be like, yes.
I'd be like, okay, sis.
If she actually said that, like, if I went to a show and she actually said faggots, let me hear you make some noise and scream.
If she said faggots, let me, yes.
I'm like, yes! Not even mad. I just like...
I'd be like, to everyone around me, I'd be like, delete the video, y'all. Don't post this.
I'm like, give me more directions.
What else do you want?
Say faggots again.
Yes. But yeah, so that's pretty much, I mean, I kind of said what I needed to say online, but I really enjoyed the movie. For me, as a huge Marvel MCU fan, it felt good just to see it. The movie was like payoff. Like, I've seen every MCU movie, so it was just like, it was 10 years of like development, and it was just like hit after hit after after hit after hit after hit. And like, I was tired after watching it because it was just like so much. Like, actually, when we finished finish watching it, we all went to a bar afterwards, except John, because John had to go to work the next day and was being a responsible adult. But like, I got like 2 margaritas afterwards and just sat there.
Processed.
Yeah.
I wanted to process with you, but I had to go to work.
You could have, but you were being responsible, and that's probably better. So, but yeah, that's all I really want to say about it, because I've already said everything I needed to say on the interwebs, because I couldn't wait till today. So,
do you guys ever watch like?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna ask. Do you guys ever like watch So during this movie, I was like a little frustrated that like some of the. Remember how Doctor Strange, he took off one of the arms of the Thanos' kids.
Oh, Thanos' kids.
They're like children of Thanos, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he was going through the port and like cut off his arm. Why couldn't he just do that again to Thanos? You know, like when you watch a movie and you're just like, why don't you use this power? And they just never do.
Right, like when Thanos turned everyone to fucking tape and then never did it again.
Yeah.
Like,
or like when Scarlet Witch.
When she did what?
Oh, when she came down and like Okoye was like, why was she up there this whole time?
Okoye was the MVP of the movie because she shaded everyone and not one person beat her ass. Not one. So,
yeah.
Queen. Did you what did you think of the post-credit scene?
Oh. Well, not post-credit scene, but did you guys know that Thanos in the very end was in the Philippines?
Oh no, I didn't.
No!
You know when he's in the island and he's looking over like the rice fields? That's the Philippines.
Like they was filmed there?
Yeah, and then in the credits it says Philippines, like one of the locations.
Oh,
I was like, yes, API History Month.
Yeah. How did you notice that?
It's one of the like 7 like man-made wonders of the world. Is one of the Philippines rice fields.
Oh,
and so I recognized it looks like a staircase, but made of rice fields.
What are the other 6 man-made wonders of the world?
I think one of them is the Eiffel Tower. I don't remember the rest.
Your whole.
My whole, yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, that's all we got to say, Baze.
Okay. So what's next? Let's talk Met Gala. My favorite look
right now.
Yeah, it is currently happening right now. My top 3 are Zendaya, because I mean, Joan of Arc, who? Like, this bitch came out in fucking armor and chainmail. And like, not like her train is chainmail. Like, that was an amazing look. And then I want to say Cardi, and then I want to say Solange are just my top 3. Cardi looks like the mother Madonna herself. Not Madonna the singer, but the Madonna. Y'all thoughts?
The Madonna. Where's Beyonce?
That's a question.
She's on vacation.
Yeah.
Jay-Z whisked her off on vacation.
Someone said on Twitter, I just read 5 seconds ago, Beyonce's getting her back blown out in Paris, for y'all waiting for her to show up. And I was like, oh my god.
Wow.
But yeah, I thought that same with you. I thought that Cardi looked amazing. Zendaya looked amazing. Rihanna, I said on Twitter, is a high maester of Yevon. I don't know if y'all know what that is.
No,
it's from Final Fantasy X. But anyway, I played this. I put this on my Instagram. I put like a picture of Rihanna, and then I played this song. This is for the nerds. Wait, is it playing? Do you know what this is?
It's a choir. Sorry,
is
it Zelda?
No,
oh.
No, it's from Final Fantasy X. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But
sorry, no, I'm done. You just said Final Fantasy, and then you played it.
Okay, so let me try to calm down and not beat John's ass. So I'm kidding. So yeah, Rihanna looked really good. Although I do wish the dress was longer, or like something about it was longer.
She had to show off her Louboutins.
Yeah, but like I love when she came in with that like yellow omelet dress, and like I love that, like the dramatic
easy.
Yeah, I like when Rihanna wears stuff that's like to me, my favorite looks at the Met Gala like play with like volume.
Mm-hmm.
Solange was really good.
I like to. Sorry. Oh, keep going.
No, that's it.
I like to acknowledge who is sticking to the theme. And
yes.
So the theme this year is Heavenly Bodies, which is sort of started a controversy this year because a lot of it is a play on Catholicism. So if you guys don't know, like Rihanna, she basically looks like a pope or a bishop or, people in the high hierarchies of Catholicism.
Mm-hmm.
But
or like the Pope.
Yeah, like a pope. Yeah, she's like the head.
Yeah.
But I think so. Like, it was really funny when I saw what's her name? One of those girls, Kylie.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking at Harper Bazaars and like everyone had voted her to just like not wear what she was wearing because she doesn't look like she's fitting the theme at all.
What does she wear? I didn't even see her.
She's just wearing basically like a black pants with a crop top sort of and some sunglasses.
Ugh. Well, look, I'll give her some slack because she's a new mom, but
yeah, but okay, when Beyonce was pregnant, she wore. Anyways,
I tried.
And so I thought it was really interesting how the Met Gala's theme is basically religious based, and I have to shout out Lena Waithe because she comes out in like a pride flag.
Apparently, that's not a pride flag.
It's not a pride flag?
I heard someone say that it's not.
It's a pride flag, and the brown stripe is in there.
Oh, okay. Look, that's not what I said. I saw a discourse on Twitter.
Oh. Okay, if it's a, I mean, it's a rainbow flag.
It's supposed to be a pride flag. It's just people were being nitpicky.
Well, I think it's because she added the brown stripe, which people get conflicted about anyway. Mm-hmm. I mean, her suit is black and the stripe is brown, so she's adding the black and brown stripe, and I think it's pretty awesome that she's making this statement. When I saw it at work, I just like, I almost screamed. I was like, ah! But good thing I was by myself because no one saw.
Also, did you see Chadwick Boseman?
Yeah.
I want him.
Father?
Yeah, Father.
Forgive
Daddy
me
Boseman.
for
I want to go to confession. Forgive me, Father, for I'm about to sin. So we were having a little bit of technical difficulties, so now we're down another trash bag. It's like Survivor.
It's like Infinity Wars.
Oh no! Oh no!
Okay, spoiler, but
the embargo on spoilers is done.
Okay,
we can spoil the show if y'all.
Basically, Baze was Peter Parker and was like,
I don't want to go.
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 I don't want to go, Mr. Stark. Honestly, we got rid of the Latoyas and the Farrahs and the Latavias. And
what is this now? It's just
Beyonce and Michelle.
Oh, Michelle? I couldn't be Kelly.
No, because you don't support dark-skinned women.
How dare you?
How dare you, bitch? Did you still buy lemonade? Did you buy lemonade yet?
Okay. Wow.
As I thought. Mm-hmm. So anyway, we were talking about the Met Gala, and we want
aggressive Grande looks so good.
Aggressive Grande. Is that her thing now?
No, yeah. I mean, she's making a comeback very aggressively.
Do we talk about her single?
No Tears Left to Cry?
Yeah.
I think Baze did, and also I did.
Did we do that last week?
Yes.
What did we say? Do we like it?
I think we said we liked it, but we thought the video could be better.
Did I say that it looked like it was filmed in the last level of Kingdom Hearts 2?
No, I don't think so.
It is. It's in the world that never was. Look, and the gay nerds will get it. But
Wait, speaking of gay nerds, have you seen High School Musical like 2 or 3 or something? And there's this scene where like Troy Bolton or Zac Efron is going through the school hallway, and the school hallway starts like spinning like this, and it looks like just like Ariana Grande's video when she's walking through the room that's spinning.
So does LSD. It looks like that too. I'm kidding. I have never done that. I
mean, it almost looks like Inception, you know?
Yeah, I think that's part of the. And actually, it's the same director that did It's ASMR again. The same director that did Kendrick's Humble video.
Oh.
Yeah, so he has like a good ass resume like on him. Like, but anyway, I liked her dress. It looked like the SIS, like SIS Teen Chapel.
You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Because was that Leonardo? No, I'm so dumb. Who painted on the
girl? Okay,
I'm uncultured swine. Who painted on the top of the?
I should know this.
You know what I'm talking about?
No, I know. It's the Sistine Chapel, and I think
Michelangelo
Chapel. I'm googling.
It's
right
one of the
now.
Ninja Turtles.
I spelled it SIS. Oh, I did spell it wrong. It's
It's either Michelangelo or
ceiling. I'm gonna get this girl. No, Michelangelo.
See, I was right.
There you go.
Oh, Michelangelo.
Good job. I was supposed to be an art major, and I work at a gallery. Yikes.
It's okay.
Wow.
I mean, that history, that part of art is like not as important.
The imposter syndrome is jumping out right now. Anyway, but yeah. So I thought that she had a cool dress. Was there anyone else like before we move on that you liked or didn't like?
I think I already talked about Lena Waithe and how she came out in the pride flag. That's amazing.
She looked kind of hot.
Okay.
Like
a top that would.
You think that I find tops attractive? Is that what you're saying?
Oh,
because you're right. Actually, we're not going to get into that. But anyway, but moving on from
Ariana Grande, segue. I think what Bates would want us to do would talk about James Charles.
I'm not talking about him.
Oh, okay. We're not going to waste our time.
I'm not giving him the airtime. He doesn't have the range or the resume that he thinks that he has. He doesn't possess the vernacular that he thinks he has. Someone lied to him several times and told him that those shoes were meant for an attractive woman. And if that was the case, he should have put those back on the rack because he's unqualified to wear those shoes.
And a racist. He's unqualified and
racist. Oh, but we did talk about, we were going to talk about Ariana Grande and how he was saying that it was the worst experience that he had with her. And apparently that experience was just him DMing her.
Not actually meeting her
and DMing her and saying like,
she's rude. She unfollowed me.
Actually, I don't care. Let's just move on. Yeah, I don't care. So... you wanted to talk about... Oh, should we talk about...
let's talk about DJ Khaled.
DJ Khaled first. Okay. So
yeah.
We
want to do this in...
Yeah, we want to do this in trade voices today. So, yeah, like, DJ Khaled, my man, my guy, he went on the internet and he pretty much said... I'm sorry. He said that he does not perform... It's fellatio?
No.
Okay, that's okay. Okay, thank you. Well, I wouldn't know, but he does not give oral sex to his wife. Like he doesn't eat her out, and then he expects her to do that to him
because he's the king. Is that what he said? Or he said it's different for me because I'm a man. Or
he said, I'm gonna try to find the quote. He said. He said, "We the king." So there's just some things y'all might not want to do. It got to get done. I just can't do what you want me to do. I just can't. And then Angela Yee argued, oh, God, this is from The Breakfast Club. Oh, he was on The Breakfast Club and he said this. She's the queen, so it's not fair. And I think that that's really fucking stupid. I don't know why you would go on the internet. This is like what we were saying earlier when people were like, oh, eating pussy's gay. Like, I don't want to like, why would you not want to? I don't understand. Like,
I mean, I feel bad for her mostly because he just outed her and said that she never gets her pussy ate, at least by him.
I hope she cheats on him.
Right.
Honestly, like if you're a woman in a relationship, in a straight relationship, and your man refuses to eat your box, leave him. Or actually invite someone over to eat your box in front of him.
Yes.
That's even better.
Okay. Come
Feminism 2018, like I say leave it. Like we have no time for that, especially because half these men don't wash their ball sacks. It's straight men don't wash their dicks, have all kind of smegma and dick cheese and
wow. Do you have to do that right now?
Yeah, do they have to do that though? I wouldn't have to talk about it if people watch
just go down on your girl.
I say go down on your partner.
On your partner, yeah.
I don't tolerate that bullshit.
Yeah.
Like that's a thing. But yeah, I don't understand why men do have these weird ass rules. Like I'm the king. Like I don't. Where does this come from? Like why is masculinity like this?
It's so toxic. I would feel like. Wouldn't that be the mask thing to do? Is go down on your girl? I don't know. I'm not straight. I wouldn't know.
She pushed out your fucking child, and you won't put your tongue down there? Are you kidding me? Hell no. Like no, I'd slash his tires. Like especially because he hangs out with people that talk about that shit all the time.
Right.
But also, I will say it does taste like salt, so I understand why he doesn't want to do it.
Stop it.
But
I love the sweet and salt. Okay, anyway.
You like what?
What? So,
is there something you want to share with
what else is going on in the world?
So you want to talk about people? Speaking of people who won't shut the fuck up, did you want to talk about Issa Rae?
Oh God. Okay, so can you put my internet? Can we pull up the exact quote of what she said in her book? So, if you guys don't know, Issa Rae wrote a book. I think in 2015.
That is correct.
And let me see. In her book, she wrote. Where's the phrase? Oh, she said, "This is why I propose that Black women and Asian men join forces in love and marriage and procreation. Educated Black women, what better... Oh, wait, what did she say? Educated Black women, what better intellectual match for you than an Asian man? And I'm not talking about Filipinos. They're the blacks of Asians. Period. I'm talking about Chinese, Vietnamese, Japanese, etc." So,
yikes!
How do we feel about this?
Well, I think you should talk first. I'm not going to speak over you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for appropriately acknowledging API History Month and letting the Asian talk.
The Asian talk? Letting the Asian talk. Sorry.
The Slasian.
What is that a mix for?
An Asian that slays.
Oh, girl, I don't know why my mind thought slave, and I was like, John.
Okay. Yeah. So when I first read this, as she was doing it, and like, you know, as she was typing, I thought she was thinking of herself like doing stand up, like this is funny, haha. Mm-hmm. But even so, it's not a funny joke, and it sort of took me back to when Steve Harvey was talking to his audience about, you know, he was talking to women specifically about not dating Asian men because they're not, you know, masculine enough. They're not real men. He said, I won't date something I can't pronounce. So I won't even eat something I can't pronounce. So why would I date an Asian?
Steve Harvey said that?
Yeah.
If Steve Harvey doesn't date or eat things he can't pronounce, I don't know why that bitch is not stick thin.
So like that like spread like wildfire, right? So you think that like people would learn from that mistake?
No, because honestly, so someone had wrote a comment on our SoundCloud actually when we had talked about that. I'm glad you said that. Mm-hmm. And had said something about like this whole thing we talk about with Black and Asian people doesn't exist. Mm-hmm. And I think that that's a really interesting thing because it's like it does. And just because someone doesn't experience it doesn't mean other people haven't experienced it. And it's interesting because well, interesting might not be the correct word, but it's fucked up because I feel like a lot of I've heard stuff like this in my family said before, not about Filipinos specifically, but about like Asian people. And I think that on one hand, Asian people get kind of stereotyped into one, it's like the model minority thing, right? Where it's like you're used as a example to like be against blackness. But then on the other hand, I feel like
that was created.
But that was created.
Right. And
that's used by like white people, right? Mm-hmm. But then I feel like other POC people do this thing too where they're just like, and I've heard it being called like a positive stereotype, and I don't know if that exists, but like, Asian people are smart and this, and this. And I think it's interesting for her to say that if you want someone that can intellectually challenge you, get an Asian man. And I'm wondering like if that's based off of statistics or if that's just based off of like...
That's funny you say that because she tries to bring statistics into this. She says, according to the 2010 census, Koreans are more inclined to marry Black than other Asian groups. So Black women, after college, maybe it's a good idea to settle in Los Angeles anywhere else where Koreans is a hotspot. Huh.
That just seems okay. Let's just assume she was trying to be talking about statistics, right? But even if it was fun, I think that's the issue when you make jokes like that are like racially insensitive. I don't think that kind of stuff is funny. And then on top of that, like even if she was talking about statistics, right? Like you should then kind of have the self-awareness to know that might not be something that you maybe like want to say. And especially like I can't imagine what that feels like to constantly well, actually, I do know what that feels like because I'm black. To have people constantly, have people like constantly stereotype you and assume you're one thing, and just because it's a quote positive stereotype doesn't mean that it's not. It's still a stereotype, and what you're doing is you're stripping the humanity off of these people. So it's like, and then the whole the Filipino people are the black people of the Asian community.
What does that sound like? I was talking to a friend the other day, and I can't really make this comment, but does that sound anti-black to you?
No,
like,
it doesn't
saying
sound
that Asians are the black. Like, don't date Filipinos specifically because they're the blacks of Asians. Is that?
I don't think. I know what she's saying. What she's saying is she thinks that Filipino people out of the is Asian diaspora a thing? Okay. That they are treated like the worst because like black people are treated like the worst in society, which is what she's trying to say. But by equating those things, what you're saying is
she said specifically intellectual, like.
Oh, see, then that's just problematic all around. And
there's
really
a lot of layers to this. Like, I'm reading the comments to the responses to this, and one of them is saying, it's feeding into the colorism that's already internalized in the Asian community. That Filipinos, like in other Pacific Islanders, are usually the darker, in the colorism spectrum of the Asian community. I mean, basically, she said the people who to date are sort of the Asian community that tend to be a little lighter, like the Chinese, Vietnamese, and Japanese specifically. So,
and it's also equating lightness with being smart,
right?
And like
it sounds like it's also, I mean, it's colorist, it's classist. I don't know, and it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. It's like very anti-Filipino, and I don't get to hear a lot of things about Filipinos in the media. So when I do hear something, it's got to be this, like, "Hey, black women, don't date Asian men." Like, I mean, if you do it, but not a Filipino.
Yeah. See, the original comment that I heard on Twitter was just like, "Oh, black women date Asian men," and then there were a bunch of black men in their feelings. But it was even interesting in hearing that discussion. To your point, because this to me I didn't hear about this at all until we started talking about it before we recorded. So that's kind of like crazy to me, and and I think it kind of shows just how little respect people have for one, Filipino people, but two, like how sometimes in POC communities, like we don't really respect each other as much as we should, and like
that's a good point.
You know what I mean? And I've heard a lot of I've heard my family, like the older people, use the word that they shouldn't use to describe Asian people, the one that starts with an O.
Oh.
And yeah. And yeah. And I correct them like when they say that, and but also too, like it's just interesting with the things. I also remember when I think I've said this on the show before, where my best friend from high school was Taiwanese, and I went to his place for the first time, and like his aunt like saw me and like didn't let me in the door. And it's just like this thing where there's always like this, and I've seen it where like
there's like a lot of anti-blackness in the Asian community and a lot of anti-Asian, I guess, in the black community from both.
Yeah, I think that there's both. I'm not going to say like at large, but I would say anti-blackness obviously is global.
Right.
But I think in some black communities, yeah, because I think sometimes actually, I don't want to make that ignorant ass point. I was gonna say I've seen some people say that like they get upset because of the model minority complex,
right?
And like they feel, I don't know. That's a whole thing we can unpack later, but
it's a whole other discourse.
Yeah,
but
it's complicated.
For a minute of color, that's just like don't do that. That's not.
I wonder, has she said anything about this? Because this was...
I haven't seen any responses from her yet. Maybe she's waiting to write out like a long apology, and I'm waiting. I'm kind of excited to see, or not excited, but
you need to see it.
You're right. I need to see. I mean, because she, I don't like putting someone in my problematic fave box. Just like stay my fave.
And it's like, again, people have like the ability to learn and grow from things or whatever. Right. But I would love to see like what she's talking about too, because it's just so funny because the way that Twitter has framed this conversation has been like completely different than what we just read. So, but
have you seen on Netflix? There's a comedian. Her name is Ali Wong, and in her stand-up, she says she's half jungle Asian and half fancy Asian.
Wait, I can't laugh. Stop.
I mean, it's kind of. I think it's funny when she says it because she's half. I think she says she's half.
She can say that. Yeah,
she's half Vietnamese and half Chinese, and so she's saying like, the South where it's more jungle, and then the North and the Northeast is more fancy. She says jungle Asians host diseases. Fancy Asians host the Olympics, and it's just. I mean, that's the punchline. And it's kind of funny.
I know I'm not laughing at that.
I laughed because
you're Asian.
Yeah,
I'm not.
Like growing up, I know what that's like. Like who, especially in our own community, colorism is real in the Asian community. They look at each other like, oh, it's usually the Southeast Asians or Pacific Islanders are not looked at or as reveled as like people with dynasties and like thing in their culture. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So,
that's actually, I'm gonna hold on to that because that's actually an interesting point. Is there anything else that happened before we move on that you want to talk about?
I low key wanted to talk about SZA's new music video.
Let's just do it.
Okay, how do we feel about this? I mean, we talked about this before we recorded, and I feel like...
So before you get into it, SZA released the video for Doves in the Wind with Kendrick Lamar, and I believe the video kind of has her in...
It's like a big hodgepodge of Asian culture. There's a lot of Chinese and Japanese influence.
Yeah.
I think the intro is Chinese caricature for sure.
I know they definitely have like I don't know if it's subtitle. I think like the title of I think it says Doves in the Wind, but I'm not sure. But what did you think, and then
I don't know. At first I was like, why this play on Asian culture specifically? The song is Doves in the Wind. It's about pussy. And
you can say that.
I was like, can I say that?
Girl, we've said nigger. You can say pussy.
No, not we. You and Baze.
You just not on air. I'm kidding.
Wow. People are going to DM me.
Deny it, girl. Deny it. Don't be James Charles.
I did not. I'm just kidding.
So you did?
No, I didn't. But anyways, I did feel weird about it. I just felt weird because someone told me it was a homage to Kung Fu films, and mostly because Kendrick Lamar's other videos were like also an homage to Kung Fu. And I don't know. I think we've had this. It sort of brings up this conversation of the fine line between homage and appropriation. I'm sort of leaning towards like, I guess, kind of shrugging at this point. Like, I really kind of don't care, but also out of all the themes to choose, like, why this? Like, there's nobody on your team who thought this was kind of weird. Like we've dragged Katy Perry for wearing a geisha outfit, and doing that whole thing, and there was this whole discourse about that. But when SZA does it, I've noticed like I haven't read anything.
So I mentioned this before we started recording, but I think that part of it is, and this isn't what I think, I just think these are what part of it is that one of it is Katy Perry and all these other people are white, and that's a little bit different because you're taking something, because you are like the dominant, you're like the dominant kind of like culture, and then you're then using it in a way that's kind of that doesn't keep. That's one, it's not for you, but it's also, it kind of degrades like the meaning of like what that thing is and whatever.
But then I also brought up like when Beyonce did that video with Coldplay, she was wearing Indian garb, and then so they took that down because of the feedback that they got. Yeah,
well, that was also going to be my second point.
Okay,
is that when a person of color does it, I don't think it holds the same weight in terms of like you're the dominant culture that's using it, but you're still taking something that's not really yours and then using it in a way, a lot of times it's for profit or whatever. And when Beyonce did it, I was actually dating someone at the time, and we got into like this 45-minute long discussion about it, and like this ramen discussion, and I was like, no, the director was, he said that she, and whatever, but then, she did do it, and she got a lot of shit for it, and rightfully so. But I think part of also why SZA hasn't gotten a lot of shit, one, because she's a black woman, and I feel like people are really hesitant to drag black women like that.
Right.
and Beyonce's like a whole different issue when it comes to being dragged, but that's a discourse. But SZA, I feel like she's dark skinned and she's a black woman, and a lot of people look at her in a certain kind of way. Mm-hmm. Third, when I saw the video, I mean, obviously my opinion doesn't like hold as much weight as yours in this, but I didn't really see it as anything I thought would be offensive because I didn't see them wear anything that I felt was traditionally like associated with like a, but I wouldn't know. Mm-hmm. Associated with like she was just wearing to me like a black tube top in the beginning with like the little like print, and then she was just fighting people that were like dressed in like black and that kind of thing. And I don't know if like dressing up as a ninja is considered like appropriation and that kind of thing too. Yeah. So that's kind of partially why I think we haven't seen like a lot of discussion about it. But I looked at it on Twitter a little bit earlier, and there have been a few people that have like mentioned it and brought it out, but there hasn't been like a full kind of like discourse like you're talking about. Mm. So I think it's a really interesting conversation to have, and I would be curious actually if y'all have thoughts about it, send in emails too, and I would love to hear, we would love to hear what you have to say.
Specifically, like Jeremy Lin, he got dragged for having dreads.
Yeah.
But like, and he's like, I can't really speak on it too much. I mean, I'm Asian, but I'm not Japanese or Chinese. Right. So I can't, I'm like, when I was watching the video, I was a little irked, but I wouldn't say I would be as bothered as someone who identifies with the culture. Yeah. And if I saw someone in like traditional Filipino garb, like I'd just be like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Well, that's kind of how I feel about a lot of appropriation stuff now. Like the Jeremy Lin thing was actually really funny to me because I forgot someone said something to him, and he was like, well, you have like Chinese tattoos, right? And I know that's like not okay. There's like two wrongs don't make a right. But to me, that was fucking hilarious. But it's also, to me, I feel like, and I know that people are able to walk and chew gum at the same time, but like appropriation issues, depending on like what it is, like, I just don't have the energy for it because it's like I was telling you, like, there is just so much shit going on that it's just like, if a white person wants to have dreads, like, I'm not going to go on the internet and, like, I don't, like, you're just going to be, I'm just going to look at you funny, not trust your ass, and think you look dumb, and just move on.
There's so many ways to express this art and for this video. There's so many directions it could have went in. Yeah. Why, I'm just going to say, why Orientalism?
Yeah,
why that direction?
Can I ask you, I'm curious, so let's just say they did want to pay homage, let's just say they really love, like, kung fu film, or they wanted to pay homage to like that genre of film, like how would they do that? And I don't mean that to like to be like bitchy or something. I'm just generally curious.
I don't really know. I kind of asked the question, like, what if Asian people wanted to pay homage to like any other culture that wasn't theirs? Could they do that?
K-pop.
Exists. That's a whole nother,
I know. I'm kidding. Right. I'm totally. That's a joke. But I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question, right? Because I think depending on who a lot of this stuff, who the person is, like there are some people that are going to be pissed and some people that aren't. Like I didn't ask you. Were you upset about the Nicki Minaj Chun-Li cover?
I mean, I was more like. When I was listening to the lyrics specifically, she was like, I put chopsticks in my bun for... I forgot what the rest of the lyrics were, but I was like, do you put chopsticks in your hair?
Also, the first sound you heard is a fucking gong.
Yeah. So, I mean, it is weird. Yeah. And she doesn't even, like... She mischaracterizes Chun-Li for the most part.
Oh, yeah, girl.
Like, she's a hero, not a villain.
And also, and did you see the video?
No, I haven't yet. Am I going to hate it?
Well, I don't know, but because I've heard people say that she's like part Asian too, and that's why I think appropriation is so complicated and exhausting for me, because it's like people pull out their ancestry.coms and it's like, in the time that I had this 30-minute discussion, like I could have like masturbated or ate chicken or like. It's, I don't know. It depending on like what it is, it's just a lot. But I will say this, that I think your feelings are super valid to like feel uncomfortable. I'm not saying that, and I'm not saying at all that I feel that your feelings aren't. I'm just asking because I'm just curious as to like how to avoid a lot of this shit. And a lot of this stuff hits close to me because I'm a black person who loves anime and like, you know what I mean? And like a lot of Japanese culture, and like I have like katanas and shit, right? So it's like I don't know where the, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
It's the opposite of Nike, just don't. You know,
Oh.
just don't. Like, you have a ton of other options. It's almost like when people are using the wrong word, that, you know, a word that you shouldn't be using that only certain communities can use. Just don't. Like, whatever your reasoning is for you wanting to use that word, just don't. Unless you are part of that community.
Yeah.
Or, you know, for Halloween, just don't. And like for music videos, just don't.
Yeah.
That's all.
Okay. Well, I guess with that, we are going to cut the minutes of color, and then we will move into. I can't do the.
We should do it in the bass voice.
I can't do it though, because last time I did, the devil came out. Remember?
Yeah.
Can you do it?
Dicks. No, I can only say the dicks.
Fuck. Okay. Hello, and we are back. I can't do the discourse thing, so I'm just gonna do. We are going to do the discourse, and today we are going to talk about, and we are going to do the Dear White People review.
The what?
Dear White People.
Where'd the L go? People.
You know, that is not okay. We had just talked about you appropriating the Asian culture, and now you are making fun of my accent. That is not okay. We will not have it.
Not have it.
No, we will not have it.
Okay.
But so we're gonna talk. John and I are gonna talk about Dear White People season 2.
It just came out on Saturday? No, Friday.
I think on the May 4th. So whenever that is.
And you and I have both finished it because
yes.
we're dedicated.
So if you have not watched it, you probably aren't going to want to listen to the discourse, so we'll put timestamps. And I actually want to apologize. I totally forgot to put Infinity War spoiler timestamps in the last one because I was editing the episode late and I was tired. So I will put them in the description this week for the discourse.
Yeah, we had some good discourses coming up, but you know, 2 of our trash bags had an Infinity War moment and just like faded away.
We told you they're fired. So it's just going to be me and John from now on. We don't need Latavia or Farrah.
Stop.
I'm kidding. So John, how did you, do you maybe want to start with like your overall impressions of the season, or did you want to talk about moments, or what do you want to do?
Overall impression, I think I liked it better than the season 1.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah, it was really good. And the writing this time, well, the writing in general is really good, but like their quips were so good.
They had a budget.
They're back and forth, and I was like, wow, these college kids are real smart. I mean, not that college kids aren't smart in general, but like all their comebacks were like no pauses. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
I didn't have time to process of what that person just said, but I was just like, wow, this is so good.
Their comedic timing was so good. Like I remember at one point, like Reggie was talking about his roommate, and he goes like, do y'all, because his roommate's white, and he was like, do y'all use a washcloth? And then Troy's like, no, nigga, I use a poof.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, okay.
That's like straight culture. You can't even say loofah, right? I use a poof.
Are those the same thing?
Yes.
Oh. What do you use your loof for, John?
I use my loofah for lots of things.
I'm sure you do. But no, I agree. I thought that season 2 was very, very good, actually. And
the only thing I can say is they did not meet their Asian quota this year. Last season they had an Asian girl like just jump on towards the end of the season.
They did?
Yeah, remember? She's like, I'm just gonna be part of your friend group because
you're right. Where the fuck did she go?
I don't know. I guess she got expelled. She was helping out with this as a video.
Oh my! Oh my god!
But so the premise this season was really good because it kind of reminded me of Gossip Girl. Mm-hmm. Gossip Girl was like, I don't know if anyone had watched it, but it was basically this like account that would tweet everyone's business, and no one knew who it was. And so this season of Dear White People, there's an account called Alt Ivy, which is basically, can we spoil it? Like,
yeah,
I thought the person was going to be white. So the account was basically dragging AP House and saying like all the drama that was going on and all of this like black on black crime, et cetera, et cetera. It was saying, and it was just basically being really racist. And so this whole time I was like, it's somebody white. Somebody white has to be running this.
And
turns out,
spoiler alert,
QPOC.
And he was fine. And he's
okay.
Really?
He's all right.
Everyone on that cast is so like, okay, let me not say that in case we ever get someone on the show, but everyone on that cast, I just...
You're right. He's fine objectively, but his personality, I hated.
Oh, it's trash.
Which
Absolutely.
they painted really well. Like, he was definitely the villain.
Absolutely. So yeah, like, okay, so the premise of the thing, yeah, it was like the alt Ivy account, and then he was trolling Sam, and not only was he trolling Sam, like, he was doing like a lot, like saying like a lot of stuff, and it was really good because they were talking about a lot of stuff that we are kind of dealing with now about like alt-right people. I'm not gonna say alt-right, white supremacists, and I'm gonna be a responsible media-ish person.
Call it like it is.
Call it like it is. White supremacists and like neo-Nazis and all of that shit. So they talked about that. They talked about open relationships. They talked about
with who?
Wesley. Lionel.
Yeah, and Wesley, because that's his love interest name, right?
Yes. So they talked about that.
He's like, I'm glad we don't have to stick to those rules. And Lionel was like, yeah.
So maybe so what was your favorite what was your favorite episode and then moment from the season?
Okay. So one of my favorite characters, they're all really good, but one of my favorite characters is Joelle.
Oh yes.
And I think she's so slept on. She's beautiful, she's smart. And so the episode where she finally got to meet a guy, like, it took a wrong turn. I was like, yeah, he was so fine. I was like, yes, like, look at this guy. He's going to treat you right. And that sort of should have been my red flag because he says it. He's like, I'm going to treat you like my Nubian queen.
Oh my God. And he said...
and she was like, wait, Nubian queen like Queen Latifah or Nubian queen like... What did she say?
Girl, I don't know the quote, but I do know when I heard Nubian queen, I was like, oh, Hotep, here we go.
See, I didn't know that. And then he starts dropping the F-bomb, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah, and even before that though, when they were in they were working on like a cadaver, he had said some shit like, oh, it's really great to see a woman using her mind or something like that.
Oh, right.
And I was like, if you don't get the fuck, and then I think the show did this on purpose where like you saw that he was kind of problematic, but then you ignored it because he was fine as fuck.
Right.
And I think it was doing that to the audience too. And I was like, drag me.
Yeah, I have for sure got me.
I have definitely done that in real life, as you know, where I have ignored some things people have said because I thought they were fine as fuck.
I mean, like, I posted on my story as I was watching it, like, when he was talking to her, she faints. Like, she drops to the floor. I was like, oh my God, mood. That's totally me.
That was funny as fuck. So then, yeah. So, like, that was a good was that your favorite episode?
It was, yeah, because it was, like, it took a lot of turns for me, you know? Like, I was happy for her, and then I was like, oh, fuck. Let's see. I cried on, the episode about why am I forgetting Sam's dad?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I was crying in my room.
That hit me hard because my dad did pass away. So it was like the episode before that, episode 8, where they were talking about it. So my friend told me that that's called a bottleneck episode when it's just like one set and people are just talking. And
to set you up for the...
Yes, to like say, I guess that means it had like the lowest budget of the season, but like when it was just her and then her white ex just kind of like talking, and they were just talking about the show and like why he was interviewing her. I thought they brought up such good points because
that was a good back and forth.
Yeah, but the thing is, I actually literally just had this conversation with someone not too long ago where you were talking about how like you're only doing this because you have this idea of what you think my experience is because you're dating someone that's black, right? Or like you have this idea or whatever, but like you are literally the system because like what's the point of this? Like you're using my pain and like my experiences for a grade. You don't actually care about like my experiences because if you did, like you wouldn't come in here with the fucking agenda.
That episode was super layered because Sam and white guy, I forgot his name. What's his name?
It's Gabe.
Oh yeah, Sam. They have like a history. So there's this whole like him trying to be the white savior complex, but also he was like madly in love with her and is like, I think is like trying to do whatever he can to keep her and her too. You know, she was like, I'm going to record this conversation. And she did it for security reasons, as she had every right to. This season had a lot of growth and a lot of drama. And I was like, that's why I finished it over the weekend
because it was addicting. But I thought that's why that moment was so poignant because it is hard. Like when you're dating someone that's not your race,
specifically white,
mm-hmm. there are a lot of experiences that you won't understand or like you won't get. And there's nothing wrong with interracial
mm-hmm.
dating, obviously, but like there's nothing. I mean, there's some things that you just can't explain or you can't talk to people about unless you have that experience, especially if you're Black, because mm-hmm. there's just certain shit that people don't get. And Sam is an interesting character to have that conversation with because she's mixed. Mm-hmm. And so I thought that, so, you know, like when he was like yelling at her and then she like leaves and then she's like, oh, hell no. Nah. And then she like comes back. Mm-hmm. Everything they were saying after that point was true. Like all the shit he was projecting onto her was not projecting, was saying about her was true. He was like, you do this because you want to compensate for the side that you hate the half of yourself, you hate this or whatever, and like he's not wrong because she admitted it like not too long after that. But then she was also like, you don't get why I'm like, the fact that he told her that she was angry, oh, that pissed me off. I hate when people tell Black people that you're angry because like they said in a previous episode when they went to Reggie, mm-hmm. about like, and we'll talk about that next. Mm-hmm. But like they were like, she said, or they said, if I think James Baldwin said it, if you're a Negro in this country and relatively conscious means to be needs to be mad all the time, and it's like, I had someone tell me that I was an angry person and I don't need to be angry all the time, and I remember being like, do you know why the fuck? You don't know why the fuck I'm angry,
right?
Like, and I have every right to be angry because I stay aware of like what the fuck happens in the world, and it's upsetting as fuck. Mm-hmm. And then to have people tell you that shit doesn't matter, like I'm sure that's how like you get pissed. We were just talking about the SZA thing, and there isn't discourse about it, and you're like, well, why isn't there discourse about this? Right. Like, so it's fucking annoying. Mm-hmm. And then they were talking about that during Reggie's episode too, about like how to deal with traumatic experiences with him, you know, being in a near-death experience, and that was really powerful. Therapy. Yeah. Like I love the fact, I love when POC and especially Black people talk about therapy. Yeah, because it's something that we don't.
And most communities of color don't talk about that because most communities of color is like it's about survival. Like put money on the table, forget about your feelings. Yeah, like you know, I mean, I can speak for like a lot of my experience as growing up Filipino, like we didn't talk about our feelings because you know everything is just about like go to school, get a job, survive in this country. Like we don't have to talk about feelings. It's not a priority, and it's like it like baffles me because now that like I grew up in America in a different culture, and my parents are saying that like always told me that I was very whitewashed and very American because I was expressing how I felt. And I'm like, are we not allowed to talk about our feelings? Yeah. You know, I'm not being American. I'm just being human.
It's funny because I wonder if that's something that that like a lot of if there's a reason why a lot of POC cultures have that. Like, I wonder if it's colonialism or like what it is. But like she was talking about in that episode with her and Gabe too about how like I can't remember what the term was, but she was saying how like when just so hit intense. My mic. When a group of people experience like really traumatic events that it's like encoded in their DNA and then it's like passed down to them.
Oh right.
And yeah,
something was eugenics. It was a study that
it's not eugenics, girl.
Not
that's
eugenics.
That's
no,
that's Hitler.
She said, she did say something how like anger is passed down or something.
Yeah. So I don't remember specifically what it was, but it just reminds me of like how even though we're from different cultures, there's still like these shared experiences. Like obviously not everyone is like that, but like. That's why I think the show is so dope because, like, even though it's from the point of view from Black people, like, there's a lot of stuff that you could relate to.
Yeah, I was going to say, that episode where Sam and Gabe are fighting, it's a good one-on-one for people who are in, like, mixed-race relationships or specifically relationships with a white person. Like, watch that episode and watch that banter because I feel like I had that exact conversation. But not exact because I'm not Black. But, like, you know what I mean? That very similar conversation. Yeah. And then another good like one-on-one episode was when Lionel was trying to find his tribe of like specific queer people because they called them the intellectual queers.
Okay, I know what you're talking about. That party,
the literatis. So like that's what they call them, like these. And so there's in the, you know, as we all know, in like queer culture, there's like the club scene, and then there's like the really smart ones, and like so Lionel was trying to find like what he could do on a regular Friday night. Does he want to hang out with like the intellectuals and have this like intellectual jerk off where they just go back and forth and talking about like who's, you know, who can say the smartest thing?
Yeah.
And then the next party he went to was like a DJ having a party. And I was
Shout out
like,
to DJ.
Yeah, and I was like, I mean, both parties looked kind of fun, I guess, if you watch it initially, but it's like there isn't just one kind of queer person, you know, there isn't just one kind of gay person. There's like all these different subcultures that you can explore.
Also, Lionel is me. Like, Lionel was actually.
Oh, I thought you said Lionel is meat, and I was like, yes, when he's shirtless.
Oh, I mean, Lionel. Okay, Lionel to me kind of looks like a sexy dinosaur. Like, I don't know if that. Like, he kind of looks. He kind of looks like
the long neck from Land Before Time.
No, that too. He kind of looks like a really like sexy velociraptor to me. Like, you know, and the one that goes like that one.
Yeah.
He was made. I can't believe I just did that.
Please make that the clip.
I thought you said please make that the clip, and I was like,
oh my god.
Sorry, the John jumped out. But so now I lost my fucking train of thought. Oh, okay.
A sexy dinosaur.
Yes. Okay. So he's me.
The mood for 2018, by the way, is sexy dinosaur.
A sexy velociraptor.
Okay. Sexy.
Yes. He made that character, the director or the creator, Justin Simien. He made that character based off of himself. And
is he gay?
I'm pretty sure he is. If it's not on fake news, then I'm sorry, but I think he is. And Lionel's struggle like throughout the movie and like the first season and this season just like hit home because that's what I was like. Like when he was trying to like first have sex and like he couldn't find the hole and he was saying this is like harder than like a level on like Fortnite or something that. Yeah. I was dead. And it's just like, he's such a nerd and he's so endearing and he doesn't know shit. And he's like trying to like navigate in the world. And that's how I was in college. Like it was just.
Wait, it was so cute when the guy who was bottoming for him was like, this is how much lube you need to use.
Oh, yes. He got one pump and I was like, sweetie.
Lionel got one pump of lube. I was like, girl.
I was like, that's not it.
Support your bottom. Just
not
like the foil container says. Always support the bottom.
Is that what it says?
No, you know the foil container?
Oh.
On the very bottom of the food container, it says always support the bottom.
You would know that. Like,
support
and then
your bottom.
Right after that, he like sticks the whole thing in, and then the guy's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" I was like, "Oh, girl, that's not it." Like, I really wanted Lionel and Troy to fuck. I really
see. I'm opposite. I'm really glad they didn't go that direction because it's such an easy what's it called? An easy stereotype to put gays in, like, oh, gays falling for their straight roommate who's like conventionally very sexy.
But he's jerked off to him before.
No, he's jerked off to people fucking. I think, you know,
he's jerked off to his roommate too.
Not just by himself.
Oh, maybe that was me.
But yeah, and even when they saw him naked, the guy who was like, "You get to wake up to this."
You're right. Yeah. I guess my thought was like I wanted them to kind of do an arc where Troy maybe discovers he's bi, and like they talk about bisexuality. So maybe that's my way of kind of like covering up me objectifying him. But
I was hoping they would have a. Oh wait, no, is it Muffy, or what's her name?
She's a lesbian.
She's a lesbian. I was so glad that she came out as a lesbian.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Coco's roommate, right?
Yeah, because she was saying, she's like, I'm a trendy lesbian. How come I don't see me in, like, anywhere?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, girl, how come we don't see you anywhere? Like, that's so real.
Can you name another black lesbian on TV other than Lena Waithe?
Oh, my God.
Exactly. Oh, actually, I can name one, but that's it.
Who?
What's her name? Samara Wilde, Orange is the New Black.
Oh, okay.
But other than that,
yeah,
that's about it. And then they killed her character.
Oh my God, yeah.
So, but yeah, and then actually Coco's arc was actually really interesting to me, and I'm curious to see what your thoughts were. So when we saw that episode, I watched it with a few friends. Every episode we just waited 5 minutes, just like, what the fuck did we just watch? Because it was so good. And with Coco's, so her whole thing was like the pregnancy thing, and originally I was kind of pissed that they did a pregnancy arc because I was like, it's very stereotypical to give like the dark skinned black girl, like make her get pregnant and that kind of thing, and use pregnancy as like a twist. To me, it felt
drop out of school.
Yeah, it felt very like Tyler Perry, Iyanla, who they also did this really cool parody of.
But it's a real issue that girls. I mean, I'm not a girl, but I know it's a real issue that a lot of my girlfriends go through.
Yeah,
and they sit there and think.
But then they used it to talk about abortion. And then I was like, okay, this is dope. Because the thing is, when have you ever heard about abortion being talked about? Like when it's pertaining to a black woman or a black girl, right? Like never.
Well, she asked, like, are you going to keep it? You know, and like they never really asked that. All she directly went to, I'm going to have this baby. I'm going to drop out of school. I'm going to, you know, and like, I'm glad they did bring that up because there's a lot of options that are out there.
Yeah.
And it isn't just one or two.
But I feel like a lot of times, too, that, like, abortion isn't talked about in the black community as much as it is in, like... Because I feel like sometimes when abortion is talked about, it's talked about as a white woman's problem or, like, a white woman's issue. And I think it was really interesting that it was brought up as in the framework that it was. And it also was used to kind of give you this kind of characterization of how Coco was. So, like, she... You know, they did like that flash forward sequence where like she's with Troy, or she's not even like with Troy, but like she's dropping off her daughter and she's talking about like, oh, well, you can be a senator and you can do this and you can do this. And it was like you really seeing like what she wanted. And Coco's whole thing in the movie and before was like she was trying to, you know, she's from the hood, but she was trying to like put this projection on of like whiteness and whatever. And she was even giving like white girls advice like in the comic room.
She was the white whisperer.
Yes. Me too. I'm kidding. And it was like it was such a beautiful moment because it was like these are things that she wanted for herself. Like she wants to be the senator, she wants to be successful, she wants to be this and kind of like subvert all of these things that people look at her as like a dark-skinned black woman, right? And you really got to see her just say like, this is what I want to do. And I also thought it was really beautiful that she made this decision that was like, if I have this baby, it will not allow me to have my dreams. So I'm going to make a choice to not have the baby. And I thought that was such an important thing to show because I think sometimes, especially with like women of color, like, you know, it's very much like, if you get pregnant, you're like a whore, you're this or whatever. And like, they never talk about, like, there's never options talked about like what you can do, like adoption or abortion or that kind of thing. And so I was happy that they were talking about choices for her and she made a choice and was firm in it. And it was her decision. And so I thought that was really dope that they did that. So, yeah.
Let's see. What do you think about Troy's story arc? Because I feel like his specifically was like being a successful black man in like a white man's world, I guess.
Yeah, well, Troy's arc was really interesting because I don't really feel that bad for Troy, to be honest with you, because Troy just does stupid shit. Like, because I feel like Reggie on the one hand has like all this.
Well, like, he has a lot of daddy issues.
Well, okay, so also, again, like I said, my dad passed away, so can't relate. But Troy's thing is, I get that he's trying to like subvert expectations for like what his dad wants to be and wants him to be because that's what his dad wants. And like his dad wants to, I think his dad wants to be Troy, like. And wants to use Troy's potential to be like something great because he doesn't have it. He can't do that anymore. So I relate to him in that regard, but I just feel like Troy constantly does little shit that like kind of makes me side eye him. Like he's super like, I don't want to say misogynistic, but like the way he talks about women sometimes like kind of rubs me the wrong way, and like how he talks about like pity fucks and all that shit, and like.
But that's why they gave him, you know, I like that Dear White People. They gave each character their own episode and a little arc for each of them, and a different perspective. And so what I liked about Troy's is like he had a lot of pressure being the black guy and like trying to uphold like white people's standards as far as like, if you're going to be the president of AP, you have to look a certain way,
right? You
have to talk a certain way. You can't do these things. And even when he was trying to make friends with white people, he just like he thought he had to be what did he call himself? The Carlton of I forgot.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, and how he was talking about how I forgot who said. I think Sam said it. Oh, when he did shrooms, and then he went into the booth, and then he was talking, and then Sam was like, the reason we didn't work out is because you try to be
please everybody.
Mm-hmm. You're a people pleaser, mm-hmm. and you don't ever do like what you want and that kind of thing. So
it kind of ended in a nice way though, because he went to an open mic thing and mm-hmm. he basically told men in general they have to do better,
which still wasn't funny. It was a great message, but that was not a good routine.
Yeah.
Do you relate to that kind of at all, where you feel like you kind of have to code switch or be something based off of like who you're around and that kind of thing?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think we've talked about imposter syndrome before, and mm-hmm. a lot of people in positions of power, from my experience, have been white folks, and so I feel like I have to act a certain way, mm-hmm. and because I have to be more palatable to them. Mm-hmm. I sometimes even have to be more straight around them, because I feel like mm-hmm. if I am, already a person of color, I don't want another thing going against me, or something that could be possibly used against me. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So
it's actually, it kind of reminds me of Janelle Monae's album, where she was kind of talking about like how we're all dirty computers and like we have these bugs. And like these bugs are things that like society tells you that it's not, mm-hmm. aren't good. And it's funny because I feel like the society, when we always say society and like societal norms, is very just kind of like, it's very kind of like, that is not what that was. That was almost, but that's not what it was. But yeah, it's society's always like straight, like cis, like white people, mm-hmm. and it's like you have to be palatable for that,
right?
But let's see. What did you think about Reggie's thing, and about kind of how he dealt with the aftermath of the shooting, and like
I think we talked about his therapy.
Yeah, but how did you feel about how they portrayed like the I guess maybe you're not the person I asked, but about the PTSD. You're the only person here, bitch. Okay, so what didn't you like? Or is there anything you didn't like?
Let's ask Renee and Baze. You guys?
No? Okay. Okay, so what didn't you like?
Nothing. This is gonna sound really, really dumb, but I hated Reggie's fashion this season.
Really? You didn't like the cargo pants and all that shit?
I didn't like his what do they call him? Che Guevara going to Fashion Week? It's like,
who was that? I didn't get that.
Somebody called him that in this season, but I
don't know.
That I loved Reggie's story. I also think Reggie's also very slept on too.
Like looks wise, or
like everyone's all about Troy, but like, what about Reggie?
So we had this conversation when I was watching it with my friends, and I said that I kind of think Lionel's.
Okay, in your category of Reggie, let's play
Kill Fuck Marry.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, so glad you caught that. Kill Fuck Marry, Lionel, Reggie, and Troy.
Okay. Kill. Okay, I'll marry Lionel.
Oh.
Fuck. Reggie, kill Troy. Yeah. Because Troy's like too muscular for me.
We're both on the kill Troy train. I mean, no, not actually.
So you're marry Lionel? I mean, marry Reggie?
I am marry Reggie.
Fuck Lionel?
Yeah.
Because they said he had a big dick?
I mean, he doesn't know how much lube to use. Support your bottom.
So that's why you want to fuck him?
No, I mean, that's why I wouldn't marry him. He doesn't know what he's doing.
But you'd fuck him?
Yeah. Once.
And why would you kill Troy?
Like you said, I don't know. I couldn't walk around with Troy all day. It just made me feel really weird about myself.
Does that happen with you too? Like,
maybe that's just me being insecure, but like,
no, I feel that. Like,
I can't stand next to you and like feel okay.
No, I get that. Oh my god! Also, we forgot to talk about the whole arc with Tessa Thompson.
Oh my god! Okay,
so you know that she played Sam in the movie. In
the movie, right?
Yes.
And so they used her as sort of like the Ann Coulter of this season.
Yes.
As like the Republican. Is she full? Or she's black, but like
I think she's mixed.
Okay, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting how IRL she was the Sam of previous season, but they used her to like as current Sam's like villain or something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It kind of reminded me of like, this sounds really nerdy, but like Pokemon when they like the Pikachu and like the other Pikachu were like different levels and they were fighting and like one's. Anyways,
was this in the movie? When Mewtwo made the clone?
Yes.
Oh my god, bitch.
I'm so glad you got that reference.
No, I did. I actually cried when like Ash died. Okay, but anyway. No, I thought that was really interesting. First of all, give her a better wig. I thought that her wig was...
Maybe the budget was low that season.
I don't know. I mean, maybe it was... I think it was bad on purpose as like shade towards like alt-right... Or, sorry, towards right-wing commentators. But like, I mean, they might as well be alt-right commentators. But I thought that arc was really interesting because it really was like Sam saying what she could become, because I don't know if she was saying that she doesn't believe all the bullshit that she's saying and she's just saying it because you get like a platform.
Well, that's what Tessa Thompson was saying. She's like, look, you're just doing this to sell out, and the next thing is a book deal, and the next thing is like tours. And I was like, damn,
right,
this is what people really like. I fully believe that a lot of these people who are out there speaking what they're speaking is just to make money. Like, I know you don't believe what you're saying, you're just doing it to get a check.
But that's what's crazy is like, is the crumbling of democracy like worth your check? Like, you are literally poisoning all these minds. But I thought the way they combated it, where it was like, it was the Black Caucus like bought out the theater. That I thought was like really amazing. And when she walked out there and was like, yikes. Yeah. And then when fucking Silvio walked his ass out there and he was like, yikes. I thought that was great. And speaking of Silvio, I did want to talk about him and Daniel's kind of Lionel's, damn it, their kind of story arc. Because it's interesting to me because I thought that what Silvio was doing when they would go to these parties and be like, and he would say, I want to hang out with you, and then
then leave him. That is such a gay move.
I've had that happen to me. And I've seen that. Oh my god. I was like, girl, dump him. And like, even when he was like, we have a ship, but I don't know what it is. I don't know.
We have a something ship, a relationship,
or a friendship.
I was like, that is such a... I don't even know what to call that.
I don't know. Or a situationship or whatever. Yeah. I just thought that was so like spot on. And I know there are some gay writers on Grande that that like wrote that because it was just it was so on point. And I just thought everything that they kind of hit on was like really good. They even talked about like racial stereotypes. Like when they went to that one uppity ass white
illiterati.
Yeah,
no, not illiterati. Literati.
So yeah, I thought that was really dope.
I think you're right. The episode is interesting because I feel like that's a very common thing in gay culture. You'll have someone who's very experienced take in someone who's like a newbie, and they think like, I'm going to show you the right way or whatever, and like that's not how the newbie feels at all, right? Like you don't, even though like I feel like a lot of new youth in queer culture, we lack mentors. You know, we don't have a lot of people to show us the ropes.
Yeah,
not like straight people, because you could see your stories everywhere. But like for us, we have to find our own mentors, and so or you just, someone takes you under their wing and you just sort of take what they have to say with a grain of salt. And so you're watching Lionel navigate this process with, what's his name, Silvio.
Trash is his name.
Yeah, and he thinks he knows all the answers, but I was really glad to see that Lionel got to find his own.
Yeah, I agree. And then I will say the thing I did not like was that whole storyline about like the secret society.
Okay, so I was gonna say that's how the season ends, with a cliffhanger about while they're in college, there's a whole underground black secret society of folks who are like sort of want to empower each other. But like, I don't know. You don't really get to. You don't really know who is in it, right?
I didn't get the point. Like, I just thought it was so useless, and like it came out of nowhere to me.
No, it was part of every episode.
I know that they made like the flash forwards and the flashbacks and the history part of it. But I didn't care. I was just like, this is so... I was like, am I watching the fucking Da Vinci Code, bitch? Like,
okay, so huge spoiler alert. Did you notice the guy at the very end? That was the guy who narrates the show. Did you notice that? The guy who narrates the show is the guy at the end who they see. And I was like, oh my god, they just Desperate Housewives us.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, the narrator is the person. Or they just... Is it Gossip Girl does too? Because... Like, was Kristen Bell? Yes.
Oh,
anyway.
shit.
You noticed that?
I didn't. You know, that's the guy that plays Gus Fring on Breaking Bad. So I was just kind of like, oh,
that's why I was
fuck.
like, if he was narrating the whole time, I wonder what his character is in the show.
Okay, well, I'm interested to see that, but I just thought that storyline was so weird to me. Like, I thought it was gonna be like I don't know. I thought it was gonna be like someone got shot in the tower or someone got thrown off or something. I don't fucking know. Because I was listening to them talk about it and they were saying that there was going to be a cliffhanger, but I thought it was kind of underwhelming.
I thought that cliffhanger was so good because it's sort of like similar to what we've seen in other shows. But
it's like, do you feel like, oh my God, I have to sit there and like, I can't wait for next season?
Yes!
Oh, never mind.
That's what I felt, because I'm like, who is this guy? Like, what's his story? What does he do? What is a secret society?
I just thought it was whatever. Like, I guess. I will say really quickly, the one thing that I really did like is I always love when they do like the TV shows in the common room.
Oh yeah.
And then last year it was like Scandal. Mm-hmm. And then this season, yeah, and this season it was Iyanla Van Zant, like Iyanla Fix My Life. And I remember there was a point where she was like, you're not gonna leave until there's tears on my titties.
And then she goes in on them. Yes. Oh my God.
So I always love that they do that, because it's always like this really smart like social commentary and that kind of thing. But yeah, I feel like, did we touch on everything? I feel like we kind of did.
Lastly, I would have to say the music was really good this season.
Oh yes,
the music, like Lizzo was there, and then the fashion was actually really good this season too.
Okay, thank you for saying that.
Yeah. Every episode and actually every scene, they were wearing something different. They were all accessorized so well. I was like, these college kids are rich as fuck. It's like, when I was in college, I didn't dress like that. I was wearing the same outfit. I still wear the same outfit.
Thank you.
I wore this outfit last week.
Yeah. I was like, I literally wear sweatshirts and t-shirts. And like, I was like, the fact that y'all go to class every day too was like crazy to me.
The fact you're all in a university paying all this kind of money and then you dress that well, like, damn.
I was like, okay, like, I don't know what like thrift stores they go to, but like, I want to know. And also the fact that it's shot at UCLA just throws everything off for me. I hate it. Everything is at Royce Hall. Everything is at Kirkhoff. Like, everything is there. And I, like, when he went to go to therapy, I yelled, that's not where the fucking therapy building is. But anyway, I thought it was a really good season. I recommend that everyone go watch it and go see it. There was a lot of,
even though we ruined everything for you.
Yeah. And honestly, there's a lot of shit we didn't even like touch on because the storylines are so, I was going to say intricate.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, like they even talk about how like you deal with death and that kind of thing. Yeah. And like, so there's like a ton of different things that
I'm like fully like 10 years older than these kids, you know, and I'm like,
and they're kids.
I've learned so much.
Oh my God.
The fictional kids.
Yeah. Also, the sex scenes are so fucking good. Oh my God.
Okay.
Whew, man. Anyway, but yeah, so I think that'll be it, and we will answer a few more questions in the Mail of Color. Hello, and we are back.
No.
Hello. Wait, no.
Welcome back to the.
Welcome back to the Mail of Color. So,
please come back. I can't do this.
We are going to answer a question from Falou. Falou is an OG listener and asked us. Shout out Falou, and I was on his podcast. Get into it a while ago. So. Yeah, go listen to that. So Falou asked us a question, and it's a drag race question, and because
oh my God, I feel like I've had withdrawals. We haven't got to talk about drag race.
We haven't, and now that Baze isn't here for this episode, we could do that.
Are you caught up?
I am caught up.
Yes,
I didn't see Untucked last week, but this question isn't about last week.
Untucked is so good.
Oh, I know. I heard the Vixen is being annoying, but okay. So speaking of the Vixen, this says. So Drag Race, right? I'm not going to go into the whole thing, but
fuck my drag, right?
Fuck my drag. But I would like to know what was you guys' reaction to the third episode of Untucked when Aquaria started crying and Vixen said that she created a narrative of Vixen being the angry black woman and Aquaria the innocent crying white girl. Because personally, I was gagging the whole time. And secondly, do you feel the other queens were portrayed as bad guys even though they weren't throughout the other seasons? Thank y'all and love you guys. P.S. Please make Drag Race an actual segment on the show. We would love to, but please talk to Baze about that because Baze hates the show. But yeah, so what did you think about Vixen and Aquaria?
I mean, I think that episode was was almost like the dear white people of Drag Race. Like, it just shed light and like educated, like, or they said something that like nobody really talks about. And I think Vixen just pointed it out perfectly. Like, she literally points at the cameras and looks at all of them. She's like, "You're making me look to these like I'm the bad guy, like I'm the angry black woman, and you're over there, like when you're crying, it makes me look like, you know."
They need queens like me.
Yeah,
they need queens like me so they can get on their fucking keyboards and make me the bad guy, Vixen Lee.
Did she say that?
No, that's from Chun-Li, girl.
Oh, my bad. But yeah, I think it's funny because it starts off with them in the workroom. Like, the history behind that was, or not history behind that, but like, Aquaria was calling out the Vixen because she's saying that how her best drag was someone else's stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, Vixen claps back and basically calls her out on all this stuff, and then she starts crying, and I'm just like, hey, if you're going to call someone out, you should be very, like, you can't start crying when someone starts calling you back and claps back.
Right.
Very appropriately. You know?
And it was quick, too. Like, she got the, like, that.
I think she just cried because she wasn't expecting it. I think Aquaria is just used to girls, other girls, like, Aquaria's used to being the shit. She has the most followers this season. She is just, like, always serving looks, and so no one really questions her. So when she is questioned, she just, like, crumbles into herself and start crying.
So I'll say this. I saw a video of this guy, I believe it was a white guy, who was talking to James Harden, who's like a basketball player. It's a sports reference. Well, and
it's gonna go over my head.
Well, no, he like said some shit to him, and then James Harden like slaps the phone from his hand, and then like the security guard comes over, like, what the fuck is, like, to the guy who was filming, and he was like, I didn't do anything, and blah 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 blah, and I think he yelled something like, I can't remember what he yelled, but it was like, go back on the bench or something like that. Like, he yelled some really rude shit to James Harden. And like, James Harden did that. And to me, that reminded me of Aquaria, where like, especially I've noticed a lot of like white twinks do this, where they will start shit with you, and then the moment you try to clap back or say something, then they want to like get all pissed about it and that kind of thing. And it's like, well, sis, like, you shouldn't have started the shit in the first place. And then also, Vixen was absolutely right in that moment, because it was just like, she is going to be portrayed to be a black bitch, and I see that sometimes on Drag Race, where the black people are kind of portrayed to kind of be like that, and I've noticed that a lot of times people call the black queens cheap and that kind of thing too. So I think that she's absolutely right. And
it's funny because when Aquaria starts crying, even like Cameron, like the other white girl, and like Miss Cracker were just like, what the hell is she doing?
Yeah.
Like, if your own other white girls are looking at you like, girl, like,
yeah,
you know, something's up.
And I think if you're going to be in that world and be a shady bitch, and like, say you have all this shit to say in the confessionals, and then you're going to sit there and cry when someone confronts you about it, bitch, oh well. Like, I didn't feel bad for her at all, and I hate that she did good last week, because I was like, God damn it. Like, but
I hate to admit that she's always serving looks.
I hate that she's good at what she does.
She's good at what she does.
I respect her, but goddamn, she annoys me. Yeah. But anyway, but yeah, so I think that's pretty much it.
And you know what? Thank you. We will try to make Drag Race as part of the segment, because I feel like I do want to talk about that.
Yeah. Oh, also, John, the second part, was, do you feel other queens were portrayed as the bad guy even though they weren't throughout the other seasons?
Wait.
I think they were, because Fifi O'Hara.
What do you mean? She got even worse on All Stars.
That's what I'm saying. I think the question is because queens weren't portrayed as villains before, but I think Fifi O'Hara was absolutely a villain.
Although, just like a constant villain.
Yeah, although she did it her damn self. Like, the editing, no sis, if you said it, if you didn't say it, they wouldn't be able to edit it.
So I think they made out Alaska to be a villain, I guess, in All Stars, because she cracked and eventually was like, I'll pay you $10,000 if you don't kick me out.
Damn. Bitch, pay me $10,000. I'll do a lot. Anyway, okay, so that'll conclude this week's episode of POC of Podcast of Color. Be sure to rate the show on iTunes, and what do we always say? Hit that subscribe button. Reblog, do whatever. post the show. Talk to your friends about it.
Thank you for listening to the two of us.
Thank you for listening to the two of us. We hope that you're okay with that. Baze and Renee will be back next week. You can find us on Twitter at Trash of Color and everywhere else at Podcast of Color. And I believe we're on the Reverie app or almost there yet. Okay. So with that, we will see y'all next week.
This podcast is executively produced by Aaliyah J. Daniels, LaShawn McGee, Damian Pelliccioni, Christopher Rodriguez, John Kagandahan, Keem Cunningham, Baze White, and Renee Hernandez.